everyone, welcome to Intuitive Flower Readings. I'm Susan Jane. I am running this little session today. Let me get my comments up so I can see if anybody's there and watching or can see it. Just say hi, let me know you can hear me because I'm at a different place today, so I'm not using my regular camera and I'm not using my regular microphone. So I hope you can hear me. First thing we want to do is look at the moon cycles for the week. So we're starting off, we're still in the waxing crescent at the moment. So we're still at that sort of stage. We're just coming to the end of that and heading into the first quarter. So by the end of the week, we'll be in the waxing gibbous. So the first part of the week is all about self-awareness, getting an understanding of that. In the physical side, it's about self-respect. In the mental, it's self-talk. In the emotional, self-honesty. And in the spiritual, self-reliance or reliability. So we look at that sort of side to it. But as we're heading into the waxing gibbous, we're looking at the trust mastery is all about self-confidence. Now, in the waxing gibbous, which is coming in, say, Wednesday, Thursday, it's coming through a bit stronger, Thursday and right over the weekend. The moonlight obviously is stronger. The soil is releasing that energy and it's drawing up. So the growth at this moment is increased. And what we are sowing this week will be flowers and fruit. So anything along that terminology or that side will be flowers and fruit. So that's where we want to look at this particular time. We're talking about the goals are relationships and wealth. So they're the goals that we want to focus on, especially over the weekend as we're coming into Thursday, Friday, start to really get a good understanding of that side of things. Now, morning, Bex. How are you? Lovely to see you. Oh, not that I can see you, but lovely to see you here. Make sure you put your number in between 1 and 100 and we will pick a flower for you. And this week, I'm going to focus more on the self-confidence side of the Trust Mastery program. So we're looking more at self-appreciation, self-care, self-worth, and self-reflect. So when we're going through that, the self-appreciation, we're looking at our stem and the path or the journey to this goal. The self-care is more about the leads and the guides, so how we can be patient and consistent. Self-worth is we're looking at ourselves from another perspective. And that's where we start to really focus on the petals and the attraction because we can see ourselves from another perspective, how other people will see us. Then the next part is the spiritual side, which is self-reflect, and that is the center or the very center of the flower. And that is, a little bit more about ourselves. So we say hi. Can you hear me all right? Everyone can hear me okay? Because I'm on a different place. This is my daughter's beautiful house behind me. I'm at a different place in Rainbow Beach. So I'm not sure if you're getting all of this properly. But anyway, Bex, if you've got a number you want to do, or do you want me to do a round? Oh, you've got a number. Good girl. Number 65. Beautiful. Now, this is again, this is going to be fun too because I haven't done it on this way before. Where's 65? Oh, 65. That's beautiful flower too. You're going to love this one. Hang on. Let me work out how I'm going to do this. Here is the image. I want that smaller and I want to show you this image. Hang on. So I'm working not on my big dual screen. So I'm having fun doing this. I should be used to it by now, shouldn't I? Okay, here's your flower, Bex. It is number 65. Now, can you see that all right? Let me see. Oh, yeah, you got it there. Beautiful. Okay, and as you can see, it's a beautiful red rose. So we are focusing on, we've just gone through, or we're still actually in the waxing crescent, and we're heading into the waxing gibbous. I'm going to focus on the waxing gibbous as we go forward because even though you're getting this information now and you're maybe already into that at this particular stage, but I want you to really focus on it over the weekend and as we go through it. So let's look at our self-appreciation. Let's look at the stem, the path, and the journey of the goal. And when we look at that, you actually do have one. So a lot of people you won't actually see. Oh, thanks, because loud and clear. Cool. A lot of people, they'll choose a flower image and they may not see a stem or a path or journey, which means that they're already there. However, you've got a lovely strong stem. It's very clear. It's very distinct, which is telling us that you I don't like using that terminology, have a look at your successes as you've come through. This journey, this path is very, very strong. And to me, you had a red rose last week, did you? Oh, there you go. It would have been a different red rose, so you wouldn't have used the same number, would you? Or have I moved it? Anyway, what I want you to look at is the successes that you've had, because this path and journey is very, very strong. You can see it's a very thick stem because the flower itself is still in bud. So it's saying that your path and your journey is very secure, very strong. You've had a lot of good learnings and good understandings as you've come through. So have a think about those successes that you've had and appreciate the learnings and the understandings that you've had as you come through. And it's something that you need to look at in this particular case. Again, if you didn't have a stem in your flower image, I would say it's not relevant at the moment. But for you, it is very, very relevant. So think about it over the weekend, especially if you sort of get into that little stage where you may be feeling a little bit down, a little bit flat. Start to sort of list your successes and your understandings of it, because that's going to really help you move forward in a more positive way. When we look at the leaves and the guides, which is self-care, you've also got you've got two main ones that are coming out of this flower stem. The first one is one from the past that you've already known. So you're getting this guidance and this information coming through from the past, from somebody that you know, and that's of the physical nature too. So somebody you already know, somebody you're already aware of, you've had that information, and you're going to get that aha moment that goes with it. It's going to be something like, oh, that's what such and such said. Okay, now I understand what they're talking about, and you can move forward on it. But you have got this other, I can't show you on here because I can't bring all the pictures up on the screen at the same time. But you have got the other one in the going into the future. So there's one coming through now, very, very soon as you're going through your journey, and that's another guidance and support that you've got coming through there. Very, very strong, very, very clear. So yes, it's very feminine in its shape too, if I'm looking at it properly. Wow, I didn't realize how hard it was on a little screen. Okay, yes, it is more of that feminine shape, and it looks like there's a jewel flower there, so a leaf there. So you've got this one to the front and that one there to the back. So you're going to get this joint information. So it's almost going to be an information like mum might say it and dad might say it, about the same time, or a friend might say it and someone else will say it. And you're getting that information at the same time. It's really going to concrete the guidance and that where you're going. So, oops, sorry, I've just lost your flower. Let me see, I'm pressing the wrong buttons again. Hang on, I will stop sharing and I will share again. I want to finish off that other one that I had with you. Have I got it open? Hang on, Bex. Sorry, I'm not used to working on this little screen. I should be. I used to always work with little screens. Okay, let's go back to, I have to get them out of the way. Usually I just go throw them on the big screen on the side. Okay, we're starting again. Right, yeah, we got that there. So where we got up to was your leaves and your guides, which is part of your self-care. Okay, now self-care with the leaves and the guide is also, we're getting information sometimes and we go, I know I sometimes go, oh, I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to know about it. Let me bury my head in the sand. This is what you might be getting with this one. So, but because it's coming from two different people, it's going to be more concrete and a more secure way. So take it on board and have a look at it and be patient, be gentle on yourself when you get that. The petals, hang on, let me just check on here because I've got to go. Oh gosh, hi Mel. Hey Sal, pop your numbers up. Hi Lynn. Oh, Lynn's from UK. No, wrong Lynn. Sorry, Lynn, I thought you were my cousin. Pop a number up between 1 and 100 and I will do a flower reading for you. I'm going to finish this off quickly for you, Bex, because I want to go onto your petals of attraction, how other people see you. And at the moment, they're seeing you as you're not open, you're not extroverted. They're seeing you more as an introverted. You're keeping to yourself. You're keeping that understanding of that goal because it's still in a bud form. You're keeping that tight. the center and the love, the self-reflect at this stage isn't important to you. You don't need to do a lot of that for this particular goal. And that is because we know you've got the ability to do that. We know that the rose has a heart center. However, yours isn't showing, so it's not relevant at this particular stage. But as people see you, they may be seeing you as a little bit, terminology is keeping things tight to your chest, keeping things closed in at the moment. So that could be how you need to be, or that could be how people are seeing you. So think about your goal and where you want to go this week, over the weekend, and have an understanding is, do you want to blossom it? Do you want to open it up? Do you want other people to see it? Or are you happy to keep it tight-chested at the moment? Keep it, just around yourself and only opening it up to those that are close to you. So that's what you're looking at this week. And as far as your self-confidence go, maybe that is how people are seeing you as well, that you maybe not feeling as confident in this particular goal as yet, but it could be because it's still new, it's still in bud. So that is yours. Hang on. I know where I'm going. Oh, this is hard. I'm going to look forward to get back to my big dual screens, that's for sure. Okay, so Beck, that was yours. Sal, what number did you have? Number 82. Okay, beautiful. Hey, Melly, you've got a number? Yes. And Lynn, you've got a number? Beautiful. If you can't stay, I get that. That's fine. Sometimes I do rattle on too much, but it'll be there if you need to come back. So next was Sal. Sal is 82. And please forgive me for my fluffering around with this small screen. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with it, because I used to always work with small screens. But anyway. Sal, yours is beautiful. Let me share your flower. Sharing here. Do you see this? Okay, so we're looking again. We're coming out of the waxing crescent and into the waxing gibbous. So we're starting to look at flowers, fruits. We're looking at that side of things. So beautiful flower. Hey, Sal. When we're looking this week, we want to focus on the self-confidence as far as our Trust Mastery program goes, and we're looking at self-appreciation is about the stem and the journey on how we get there. So let me move that across. Okay, so we're looking at your Sal, and yours has definitely got a strong stem to hold this beautiful lily. The big thing about yours is you do not fracture it, but you do scatter. You've got this opportunity here in the center where you actually come off into your goal, or there's other opportunities that you can look at. And it's not just one or two, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 opportunities that you can go to. And even those opportunities spread out again. So we look at it, self-appreciation, and what I see with this one happening this week as you go through, as you get towards the weekend, you're going to have this opportunity where it's going to be all of a sudden go, holy dooly, I can do this. And you're just going to get a little bit, not overwhelmed, but just a really good understanding of what you can do and how you can do it. But you don't need to do it all. Okay, just focus on one area at the time. But in all honesty, we look at you, you're going this way, you're thinking you're going into a goal, and all of a sudden everything just opens up. Now, when we're looking at our self-care in that, you have got a few leaves in this image, and they are masculine in nature. So there is going to be some direct understanding. And when you get this information, as you get it right here at that conjunction of understanding, you're going to get that information then. You're going to get the understanding that there's something going on. Someone's going to feed you, there's a couple there, are going to feed you some information, and it's going to just almost blow your mind. It's going to be, oh my goodness, I could do that. Your biggest area here, Sal, is focusing on one at the time, okay? Because it's going to be, I do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do that. Just focus on one at the time as you go through this weekend to this weekend. So when we look at our self-worth, we get an understanding of the petals. We start to look at how other people see you. Now, look at your beautiful yellow flowers. It's just definitely people see you as being extroverted. People see you as being out there. You've got your heart on your sleeve. Look at the heart areas all out here. Everything's out there. you've got a bit of reflecting to do. You need to get an understanding of that. And I think you are a natural reflector anyway. So I don't feel you need to go too deep in that, but you still do need to be aware of it. How people see you, they see you as bright and bubbly. They see you as actually even almost masculine in the way you are presenting yourself, because you have that clear understanding of what you want to do and where you want to go. You have a clear understanding of doing that many times over. Let's focus on one at the time. When you focus on that one, they can see that you've got that understanding, that real clarity in where you're going. So have a look at that. A little bit of self-reflecting, like I said, just make sure you do that, get a bit of an understanding there. And because your heart center is so open and so out, I would suggest that you do a little bit of self-reflecting with other people as well. I think voicing it is going to be easier for you than trying to go within and get that understanding. So not necessarily meditation, maybe more, I don't know if there's such a word as, but verbalizing it. So you know how we can get that understanding? We start to talk to somebody and those words sort of jump back and hit us in the face. That is what you need to look at this week, especially over the weekend or heading towards the weekend. You'll get more clarity over Monday, Tuesday. Look, it'll sort of start to make sense for you then. But that's yours, Sal. Let me go into Mel's. Morning, Mel. Oh, beautiful. Hang on. Oh, and Stephanie's there too. Oh, Stephanie needs 88. Cool. Sal was debating between the two. Hang on, I've lost my numbers. Where's Mel? Oh, gosh, I've got to get back. Number 2, Mel. Okay, cool. That's yours. Apologise for that. Hang on, let me get that one away. And number 2 is looking like this. There's number 2. Oh, number 2. Okie doke. Here you are. Let me get that page off. Let me share. I'm getting better. Slow. Slow. Here we go. This is fun. All right, pick a number between 1 and 100 and we'll do a flower reading for you. Okay, Mel, here's yours. Again, we're going to focus on the moon cycles and where we're going with that, and the Trust Mastery Program. So the Trust Mastery Program, as we're heading in, we're just going through the waxing and we're heading into the, waxing crescent, we're heading into the waxing gibbous. Now for Trust Mastery, it's all about self-confidence, and we're going to be looking at your stem and your path for your self-appreciation. And like I have shared this, haven't I? Okay. Like I said earlier, we can't see much of your stem. Now, that might be your stem down there, Mel. This one looks like it is another bud coming through. So the stem isn't so important for you for this particular goal. So when we're looking at this particular goal or how we're feeling this week, we've got an understanding that you are well aware of your successes and how you have got to where you are. Your self-appreciation is there. We don't need to focus on that. We don't need to look at that. You're not going to have a hiccup with that, maybe because you've already looked at it this week. I know you did last week. So that side of things is we're fine with that one. When we look at the leaves and the guides, we've got a few around you. You've got a lot of spirit guides up here coming from the same plant, that is from the same plant, and you've got a few physical ones down there, not of any distinct size, colour, not of any distinct shape. So there are of a physical nature. So I would say you'd be picking up tidbits from different people. You might be on Facebook and get a bit of an aha moment from someone there, or they're doing something and that's giving you that understanding there. It's also about, you'll get a little bit from spirit. You'll get a bit of an understanding of some, with this one up here, this one high up there, you'll get a bit of understanding of that one. That's also, it's a bit blurry. So it's not going to be clear, and yet it is going to be quite direct because it is of a masculine nature. So that one's coming through for there. But again, not really out there this week as far as that goes. Your self-worth, how other people see you, the petals of attraction. Oh my goodness, Mel, you can't even fit that in the page. So now I know you're not extroverted. So this is saying you need to be extroverted, but maybe you need to be extroverted more about your self-confidence and have that out there. Just put it out there that you can do it. You do feel it. And I know that there is times there when I go, I got it, I understand it, but I'm very hesitant in putting it out there into the public. So this is saying put it out there into the public, and be Be confident in putting it out there. These are beautiful, big, round petals as well. And of course, the colour is amazing. And look at your heart centre, a bit like Sal's. It's really out there again. Beautiful colours and beautiful shapes as well. I can't go right into the details on this one, but that's about self-reflecting. And I would suggest it's the same with like as with Sally's. It's not about going within to self-reflect. This is actually about expressing it externally. So it's about talking to others about it, or getting an understanding through just chatting with somebody, getting an understanding of putting it out there on Facebook if you're putting it out there and doing that. But the more you put it out there this week and over the weekend, the more you're going to get an understanding of, the more you're going to self-reflect on it. So that's really important at the moment. It's not necessarily about going in for yours, it's actually going out. And that's going to throw your little, yourself around a little bit, because I do know that you are more introverted. So putting it out there is going to be a bit of a challenge for you, but you got it. You can do this. You've got this. And just trust in it. Just, trust in what you're doing. So that's yours, Mel. Hang on, let me shrink that one. I'll close that one. We'll keep going through. We've got so many. Thank you for joining me, everybody, too. This is lovely. I'm really enjoying this. Lynn, I am going to go with you next because you are number 77. Hang on, let me just scan through. Pick a number between 1 and 100 if you want a card reading. Oh, Ward's there. Beautiful. Okay, and the doctor from India is there too. Cool. All right. Now, where were we? Back here with... if you can't stay on and get that, just watch the replay. Lynn, you're 77. Let's have a look at that. I don't think I've had this many people on for a long time. It's wonderful. Hang on, 77. Here we go, Lynn. Lynn, you've got a beautiful Australian flower. Let's open that one up, move that one aside, and share this one. Again, for those who have just jumped on, I'm working on a little screen on my little laptop. I usually work on big dual screens at home, so I'm having a little bit of fun here. Okay, again, this is yours, Lynn. This is a beautiful Australian flower for those that are not in Australia, and I know there's a few of them there that have just jumped on that are from America or India. This is an Australian gum nut. Now, the gum nut is from the eucalyptus tree. It's a very well-known Australian flower, native flower. So it's very close to all our hearts. And it's very unusual because it has a very, very strong calyx. Now, we're not talking about the calyx today, but that's when you see it in a rose, it's the green that just folds away to allow the blossom to come through. In the gum nut, in the Australian eucalyptus, it's a very hard, you can see there, it's a very hard calyx. It's wood. It turns to wood, and you can see it open up. It's into a blossom. So it's a beautiful little flower. And we're going to go back into our stem. Now, with the stem on this one, Lynn, we're talking about self-confidence, and this is self-appreciation with the stem. Now, you can't see the stem on here, so I am suggesting, again, like Mel's, that your self-appreciation is on track at the moment. We don't need to really focus on that too much. You are very aware of the distance you've come. You're very aware of what you've learned and how you got to where you are. So that's really, really positive. But I will say that with the gum nut, they have the stem where you a bit like Sally's, where it comes out as one stem and then it scatters open to all these different galls, all these different flowers. So when we're looking at it in that context, there is lots of areas there that you can look at and address, and all these skills and understandings that you've got. It's just there. There's plenty of them, and you are aware of it. When we look at the leaves and the guides, again, these are your eucalyptus leaves, and there's plenty of them. When they're at the top, if you're new to the flower readings, when they're at the top, they're more of a spiritual guide. When they're at the bottom, they're more of a physical guide. And we can also look at the shape of them. So more of an angular, long, elongated shape is more masculine. So the information, and that's masculine in behavior, not necessarily in gender. Masculine in behavior, so very, very direct, very, very clear, concise, to the point, no fluffing around. When they're big and round leaves, then it's more feminine in behaviour, so softer, more nurturing, more gentle, more guiding rather than direct and telling you what to do. For yours, obviously they're masculine. They can be telling you what to do. And this one here at the top here obviously is more of the spiritual. So you're getting this spiritual download, this information coming through. It's going to be pretty clear, pretty concise. You've just got to be open to listening to it. And again, it is not blurry as the last one was, which means it's going to be a lot clearer for you. So you could get that information in your sleep. You could get that information in an aha moment when you're seeing it, but that's the spirits coming through and giving you some information. If you're into card reading, anything like that, that's where you'll get this information, lovely and clear, lovely and precise. You've also got a little bit down here in the physical realm. So, and one in the past, some they're all in the future. So you'll be getting that information there, but it's not as clear. The leaves aren't as clear and they aren't as direct. So it's like you're going to be getting this information in tidbits from different people, and you're sort of going to be putting it together to get that clearer understanding. So that is that side of it. So again, this is about self-care. So take on board what you can and what you want to, and let go of the others, because you're going to learn anyway. It's all going to happen. You don't have to do it all at once. When we look at the petals of attraction, we look at our self-worth. We look at how other people see you. Now, these are really interesting because of the type of flower they are a blossom. And it's almost like they don't have petals in the same token as other flowers have petals. They've got more of a blossom. So it's almost like it's all heart. Everything is heart. It's all open. It's all there. So people are going to be seeing you in that context. They see you as all heart. You put your heart and soul into what you're doing, or for this goal anyway. Just be mindful that people that do that can be taken advantage of. So yes, it's lovely to put your heart out there, and then I recommend it all the time, but just look after yourself too. Just be careful of not being taken for granted. There you go. That's what I would look at. But in the same token, because of the calyx, even though we're not talking about that side of it, you are really, really protected. This hard shell on the outside gives you lots of protection. So Lynn, you can put your heart out there. You are going to be looked after. It's all good. So that is yours, Lynn. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for sharing your number with us. I'm going to keep going. Thanks, Bex. I've got Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie. You can definitely have a flower reading, and you have put your number up as number 88. Thanks, Steph. Let's talk about yours. Number 88 is, oh, you're going to like this one. Okay, let me hide this. Number 88, I've got to show it. Sorry, it just seems to be taking forever for me to do this. So I do apologise, but it's all good. It's worth it. Hey, here's yours, Steph. Okay, so again, let's go back to our Trust Mastery program, and we're looking at the first quarter because this is where we're heading this week with the moon cycles. And the first part we're going to look at is the stem and the journey. Now, this is all about self-appreciation. So it's all about understanding our successes and where we've come. So when we're looking at our goal, because flowers are our goals in life, when we're looking at our goal, we go to the stem and we sort of go, well, am I open? Am I accepting the work I've done, the understanding I've got for this goal? And we look at your goal, your stem here. Who are we with? Sorry, this was Stephanie. Yeah. We look at your goal, Stephanie, and we can say that, yes, you've got a really strong path, you've got a really strong journey. So when we look at your self-appreciation, yes, you can see where you're at. You can see the road you've taken. You've got an understanding of it. You've got clarity. The only issue with yours is the fact that it's a cut flower. That you can see there is a little vase. So your Self-appreciation sometimes feels a little bit disjointed. It doesn't feel grounded. You've got it all there, but sometimes you don't feel like it's grounded. It can sometimes feel like it's severed. I've learned this and I've done this and I've got this understanding, but it might not feel like it's consistent with what you're doing and where you want to go. Rest assured it is, but sometimes you're going to get those feelings of being a little bit disjointed, a little bit taken away from what your depth is, what your understanding is. And you can sometimes you might find that it's other people that are putting this self-doubt in your mind. It's just putting that little bit of self-doubt about your success and your ability to achieve. You can do this. You've got this. So just a lot of grounding you need to do, and a lot of walking on the grass, walking through on the beach, just grounding yourself and getting that understanding. And when you're doing that, that's a really good time to reflect and get that self-appreciation happening and saying, no, you know what, I've done good. I'm okay. I can do this. I can get this done. And really ground yourself, because that's going to be your little floor for this goal. It's just going to be a little floor. You need to keep coming back to that and appreciating what you've done and how you've got there. When we look at the leaves and the guides, there is none there. You have no need to be concerned about that. Your self-care would be quite high. It would be, and if it isn't, it's not relevant at this particular stage for this goal. So we don't need to worry about your triggers and areas like that as far as the leaves and the guides go. Your self-worth is your petals of attraction, and this is how other people can see you. So with these beautiful petals, they are so bright, and so, they're out there. Yellow, you can look at yellow in so many different ways, but I see joy. I just see this excitement, this, being opened. And with yours, that's how people see you. They can see you, they can see you as being quite, your goal is feminine, but your petals of attraction can be quite masculine in the fact that you really do know what you want, and you are quite happy to say it. You're quite happy to go there and do that. You might not be out there saying it, although it looks like you are, but you do know that you want that, and that's what you're happy to go with. You're not blurry in that side of things. Your self-worth is very, very crisp and clean, and you know where you're going. You know what you're doing there. So keep going with that, because that is fantastic. And then we look at your heart center, which is this week is all about self-reflecting. Now, when I look at your heart center, it's so big, it's so beautiful, it's so out there. It is a little bit dark, but that's a sunflower. They're always a little bit dark, or not always, but most of them are. Now, this is a sunflower that's actually grown for the flower. A lot of sunflowers are grown for the seed, for different areas. But this particular one is actually grown for a cut flower. So the heart center isn't about creating seeds and going like that. It's actually just about the beauty of it. And you could see that yours is big and open and ready to go. So when we look at self-reflecting here, even though it is out there, when we looked at the other images, they were really projecting it out there. Yours isn't. Yours is still going within to self-reflect, but allowing others to see that, allowing it to be open and saying, I'm not really sure how I feel about that. Give me time to think about it. And that's when you'll have the opportunity to self-reflect. So you're putting it out there, you're letting them know, but you're not having to verbally discuss it with them to get the answer. You're more going inward to get the answer, and then you can put it out there. So that's for your goal for this week. Hang on, let me hide things. Where am I up to? That was your goal for Stephanie. Stephanie, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for coming on the show. First time in, lovely. Ward, hi Ward. Where is your number? Oh, Lexi wants a number 10. I'll do Lexi's in a sec. I'll just do Ward's first. Mel, and Ward's is number 22. Let me remove that one and find number 22 for Ward. Okay, oh boy. Right. This is fun. Okay, number 22. Flower reading is becoming very, very popular, especially when you don't have to do it with live flowers. We're getting more out of the flower images nowadays than we do from the live flowers. So here is yours, Ward. And thank you for coming on the show. This is beautiful. This is lovely. This is one of my mum's favourite flowers. And you know what? For the life of me, I can't remember the name of them. But that's all right. Somebody will tell me, and I know them, but I just can't for the life of remember the name of them. So when we look at yours, well, we're in the first quarter. We're heading towards the max waxing gibbous this week. So we want to look at our self-confidence. Now, with this one, we look at the stem. Now, your stem on this particular flower, we're looking at our successes. This stem will grow out and it will have lots of goals coming to the side of it. So that's how this particular stem grows. So the stem on the flower is very, very short. It's coming from the main branch, but it's very short and we can see it. Now, what's really, really interesting about the stem, it's coming from the top down because it's a hanging flower. Coming from the top down is what you want to look at with your self-appreciation this week is your spiritual journey. It's that understanding of how you're connecting with people, how you're connecting with your heart, how you're connecting with your soul. That's what this journey is all about for you. It's really, really particular. And it's coming from above and dropping down. So we're going from a spiritual side, whether it's a soul, whether you're doing where you're getting psychic readings, whatever it is, it's from that spirit realm to the physical realm. List your successes in that. Get your understanding of, I am tuning into my intuition. I am getting a clearer understanding of it. I am getting those aha moments that I need to keep going. So for this particular goal, you're getting the journey you're having, or the journey that it is all about, is more of a spiritual journey. It's very, very clear from spirit to physical. So I would imagine that you'd probably have things that have happened in your life that you don't quite understand what it is or what the meaning is. And it's coming back now to give you that understanding. When we look at leaves and guides, again, you've got a lot of leaves there, a lot more up in the spirit realm, couple in the physical. These leaves in the physical are not from the same flower. They look like they're from a different plant. But the ones in the spirit side of it up high, they are definitely from the same plant, which is like-minded people. So you're getting this understanding coming through spiritually all the time. And this self-care this information is coming through as a self-care. Don't be hard on yourself. Be a bit more caring, be a bit more understanding of that spiritual side of it. And I know with my partner, he often says, I think I'm going crazy, because he doesn't understand the downloads that he's getting, or he finds some of the stuff that he's seeing or experiencing just doesn't seem real. So he questions himself. This is saying, don't question yourself. Be self-care, be gentle with yourself. This other guy down the bottom, down lower, is of another area. So this could be, and it's coming in on the future, and it's more of the physical realm. This could be information that has nothing to do with up here, but something to do with maybe your physical goal. So it's got nothing to do with that spirit side of it. It's coming down in a different context, and it is of a masculine nature, but it's coming in as a different context. It's not the same way. So as that comes through, it could be, something like, you need to move to a different location. It could be environmental. It could be something completely different to what you think of it as, or experiencing it as up higher, but it's actually going to help you in the long term. When we look at our petals of attraction, now this one, as I said, this is a hanging flower. So it's tending to look down. The petals of attraction are looking down at that physical realm. Now, people could be seeing you as very, very spiritual and really focusing on that physical aspect. Now, when I see something like that, it could be that somebody is really, really high into their energy side, into the physical body, and I'm doing my workouts and I'm eating properly and I'm doing all that physical stuff, and yet other people see you doing it as a very spiritual way. So although you're doing it physically, there's a lot of spirit side behind it. There's a lot of that gut feeling, that intuition coming through that is helping you make those choices. So people are seeing you more towards that physical side, but they do see a lot of that spiritual side with you, and you are fully protected by spirit, as we can see by the calyx there. I'm not talking about the calyx, that's another one, but it is there. The other area is your center, the self-love, the love about self-reflecting. And again, this is one that is protruding out the center. You need to talk about this. You will get a better understanding when you're reflecting, to get an understanding of that side, of the spiritual side of it, when you verbalize it. Now, when you're doing this, be mindful of who you're sharing with this information with, because I don't want you to be closing up again. You're opening yourself up to it. So make sure you're connecting with the right people that are going to be nurturing for you. So you can blurt it all out, but whoever is going to be supporting you will be of a more nurturing kind. So they're going to allow you to speak it. They're going to allow you to express yourself, to get that understanding. And then you're going to be able to, they don't even need to tell you. You are going to get that self-reflection yourself. You're going to get it because you're putting it out there. And a lot of people, like I said, need to say it to hear it. Whereas if we're thinking it, we're not actually hearing it. We're not taking it on board. So that is yours, Ward. I hope you enjoyed the flower reading. It's lovely to have you on board. Okay, let me go. Where am I up to? That was Ward's. Thank you, Ward. Sally, thanks, Sal. Hi. Oh, well done, Ward. Yeah. So Ward is very intuitive, but needs to trust it. Well, that was what the flower was saying. So yeah. Oh, well done. I'll chat with you in a minute, Ward, because I think I had someone else. I had Melly for. Oh, and I had the doctor. Number 52 for the doctor. I've got to finish this before an hour, otherwise I'll get into trouble. Number 52. Where's number 50? I get myself into trouble. No one else gets into trouble. And then I'll do yours, Mel, and then I'll close it down. Yours for Lexi. Number 52. Oh, this is lovely. Right. Okay, let's share this one for my doctor in India. Here you are. Okay, we're going to run through it all again because it gives you a clear understanding of what we're going, why I'm doing the reading and how I'm doing the reading. Because doing a full flower reading, I go through every element. There's 16 different elements that I can look at, or over 16. For this, I just focus on what the moon is happening, what's happening with the moon cycle this week. So again, we're into the waxing gibbous later on this week. It's about self-confidence. And we're going to be looking at the path, the stem, which is your path or journey. Now, as we can see with yours, there is no path or journey, okay? We can't see it. So consequently, your self-appreciation is well and truly good enough. It's you have a really clear understanding of what you've done to achieve where you are. And you don't need to list your successes. You don't need to be reminded. Like, I know I'm one of those type of people that sometimes I need to list my successes to be reminded, because you forget how far we've come, but you are well and truly aware of where you've come from and really appreciate what is going on. So you have that appreciation, not only for yourself, but for the journey, the path you've come on, but for those around you. So no problems there. When we look at the leaves and the guides, we have got a leaf towards the background. So you are getting this spiritual guidance coming in, is of a masculine nature, and it is in the past. And when I say in the past, is you've already received that information. Whether you've acted on it or not is up to you, but you have received that information. So think back a little bit. What information is it you've received in the masculine nature? Very direct, very to the point, very almost sharp. Almost sharp, a little bit blurry, but almost sharp. Like we can see those edges there. So you got the serrated edge on a leaf, especially on a rose. So it could be quite cutting. You may have had this information before and you thought it was a bit harsh, a bit rough, a bit, oh, that's a bit mean. But it's information that you needed. So it's that guidance. Now, again, when we look at this self-care aspect, it's about knowing those triggers. Okay, so you've been triggered here by information coming from somebody else. You've had this trigger. Reflect back on it. Have another look at it and get an understanding of what it is and how you can go forward with it and how you can use that to your better advantage. Okay, that is, and it is about self-care. So be gentle with yourself. You may not have liked the information you've got, but it wasn't necessarily said to hurt you. It might have been said to hurt you. It might have been said to have a go at you, but use it to your advantage. Okay, that's really important there. You've had that information. Okay, we look at self-worth, we look at the petals of attraction. Now, this is how other people see you. And honestly, look at that gorgeous pink color. People see you as very, very loving. They see you as very caring, very nurturing. Even the shape of the petals, they're very, very round, lovely, big, round areas. We get little masculine aspects to it where we can sort of go, okay, be a little bit more clear and distinct. You know, you'll bring that forward when you need to. But in general, you have got this beautiful, loving nature, being pink, being round, soft, and the rose is just so versatile. We have roses for so many different things, from everything. They've got roses for food. You have rosehip, roses for beauty, for growing, for petals, for scent. There's so many different ways of climbing roses. We have standard roses. We have cut roses. So there's lots of very, very versatile. And that's how people will see you. You need to see you as that. You need to make sure your self-worth is at that level too. And I don't see that being a problem for you. I really don't. You've got this. And I think I said that before, but you have got this. When we look at the center of this particular flower, we know that the rose does have a heart center. We know that. Yours is not fully exposed yet. It's not showing it there. So again, when you're doing self-reflect, you do need to go in. You do need to give you that space, yourself that space and that time. If this information has come through at the top, this guide that's come through, and it's been a little bit, sharp, a little bit uncomfortable, give yourself the time to self-reflect on that. Give yourself the patience. Meditation would be the ideal way of doing that, reflection in that type of reflection. Not necessarily visualization, because that's going forward. I want you to do more of that meditation. And it can be a passive meditation. It can be an active one. But I do see that more of a passive one for you. So when we talk about the active and passive, active can be walking, where you start to get the pace up and you just allow, because your physical body's active, it allows that spiritual information to come through. But I think you need to do more of a very passive, where you're sitting there and you're allowing yourself that space and that time to self-reflect on what you need to self-reflect on, and the information will come through. But again, I really do feel you know who you are. I really do feel you have that understanding, but for some reason you just need to give yourself a little bit more time. Maybe you are aware of it, maybe you know it, but you're not acknowledging it. Maybe that's where we need to go. So that is for you. Now, let me hide that one. Oh, goodness me, I'm having trouble finding things around. Okay, guys, that is for the doctor. Now, Lexi. Where's Lexi? Would like number 10. I've got to read up on the other stuff, because Ward's written stuff and Sally's written stuff, and it's like, oh, wow. So, Mel, number 10 for your gorgeous little girl. For young Lexi. Oh, Lexi, here's yours. Love the color of this one, Lex. Come on, open up. You can do this. Oh, yours doesn't want to open. Yes, it does. Here we go. Okay, Lex, let's share this so you can see it. Share screen. Here is your beautiful flower for this week. Oh, isn't it gorgeous? Almost like it got a reflection there. You got a little shadow following you there, like a very close friend, a close ally there. Oh, that could be Mama. Anyway, let's go back into where we were up to for this week. And we're talking about the cycles of the moon. We're into the waxing gibbous. And when we look at that with self-mastery, or our trust mastery, it's about self-confidence. Now, self-confidence, as soon as I see this, I shouldn't probably just read the image, because that's not what I'm supposed to be doing today. But when I see this, I just see that your self-confidence, Lexi, is you've really got that support behind you. Like I said, you've got that shadow, almost that twin there. And that who's going to look after you. And I really do see that as being someone like your mum or a friend that's very, very supportive of you. And they're in the background, and they're watching you, and they're looking after you, and they're making sure that you're okay. So know that you've always got somebody there to look after you. But let's look at your stem or your journey and list your successes. Now, again, at this particular stage in your life, you haven't got, you've got a stem there. So you do need to be mindful of the successes you've had and where you've come from. But it's not a big stem, okay? So just get an understanding, okay, I've got to where I am now because of this, or because I've done that, or maybe I've done this and I've done that. And get an understanding of it, but it's not really very, very strong. It is strong, but I know who you are, and I really know that you've already got a lot of that self-appreciation. Maybe you just need to be reminded. That's what it is. Maybe you just need to be reminded that you do know how to do it. Maybe somebody else can also remind you that, hang on, darling, you did this, you did that, you did this. This is how you got to where you are. So self-appreciation and having that somebody to help you will remind you of how you can do it yourself. It will remind you about the appreciation you need to give yourself as well. When we look at the next step, we look at leaves and guides. Now, you haven't got leaves and guides in here. There's no direct leaves there, which means that you don't necessarily need it for this particular goal. Your self-care is okay. You don't need to have that extra guidance or support at this particular time. And the background is different in this context. There may be green in there, but it isn't clear. And consequently, I would see that as when we start to get these sort of downloads and we aren't aware of them. We know we're getting something, but we don't know what it is, because this stuff will come clearer later on. So at this particular stage, you don't need leaves, don't need guides. Your self-care is okay. Now, the petals of attraction is our self-worth and how people see you in reflection. And what's really interesting in this little lavender is we've got different types. So you've got this little flower right down here, these little tiny ones here, and these ones that have come through already. And you've got these big long ones at the top. So I have to be honest, I've never looked that close. I knew they were like that, but I've never looked that closely at lavender. I don't know where the heart center is, if they've actually got a heart center. Are these little ones here? Are these just little goals that are all about her big goal? Is that what that's all about? But this flower itself isn't extroverted and it isn't introverted. It's about being yourself. It's about having those little goals and having an understanding of them. And when you're going to be self-reflecting on them, it's just reflecting on those little areas about you, because at this particular stage, you don't need to go fully deep into one goal. At this stage, you may not know what all your goals are or what your particular goal is. And you may have all these little things that you want to achieve to be able to create this big person, this big you. And you've got all these little goals that you want to achieve to create this big you. So as far as your self-reflecting goes, I can't see any heart centers anyway. I certainly can't see any in these little flowers. So I'm thinking that you don't necessarily need to self-reflect, or you may be not at that stage of knowing how to self-reflect properly. And maybe that is another area where you need to verbalize it and get an understanding of it. I know Lexi's only young, but she's a matured girl in a matured person spirit in a girl's body. She's very up to date in things. She's very, very ahead of her time in her emotional mastery, in her emotional intelligence. And yet she's still a child. So she still loses it when you need to lose it. And then there's other areas where you really see that she gets this aha moment. So I can see that all being there. And I guess with the lavender as well, when you think about the lavender, they're grown for their scent. They're grown for their healing abilities. They're grown for those sort of side to it. So I almost see this as like the goal this particular week is all about creating those memories, creating that understanding, and creating that healing aspect to it. So I can see that. And maybe it's even just a little scream to say, hey, have a lavender bath, put some lavender on you, because it's such a particular scent. It's such a particular flower. So, and you have got your big shadow there. You have got your big buddy. And again, I do sort of see that like your mum looking after you. So that is yours, Lexi. Let me get off of that. Thank you, everyone, for showing up, for being with me today. I really enjoyed it. Thanks, Lynn. Thanks, Stephanie and Ward. I'm going to read yours again, Ward. Yeah. Yes, definitely. That Ward says, yes, I feel like people see me just like the kid next door, that I'm a simple human, but in my mind, I am very mysterious. I like to think about the unknown. So there you go. That's where all that information was coming down. So you can join me each Tuesday on this station. I do the life flower readings on intuitive personal development, and I do it on my Facebook page, my work page, and I also do it on YouTube. So it only goes live there. The rest of the time you see it, it is a recording, so it's only live in this particular area. And I do that Tuesday mornings, Australian Eastern Standard Time, Brisbane time, if you want to make it easier, every Tuesday. So thank you guys for showing up. Easy to pick a number between 1 and 100 and get your flower reading. And I'm just double checking and making sure I got everyone. Stephanie, I got Bex, I got yours. Lynn, I got yours. Mel, yeah. Lovely. Thank you, everyone. That's it from me today. If you do want to get a personal flower reading of your emotional goal, there's a link down below. You can I book it on my calendar just to make sure you get it in. If it's not in my calendar, I forget about it. So I'm also life path number 11. It seems to be much with spirit. Yes, it does, Ward. Absolutely. Number 11 is. And getting that understanding of the different numbers and everything else, that's all part of the flower reading. When I was writing the book, Intuitive Flowers, Empowering Your Emotional Goals, thanks, Mel. When I was writing the book, I did all the research on colours and numbers and all that sort of side to it. So numbers, getting the understanding from numerology, from angel numbers, from there was other numbers too. There's so many different areas that people look at numbers, and I got all that information to get that. So number 11 is one of the master numbers. So that's really cool. But that's it for me. I have to go because I have to actually get some other stuff done. Thank you again for everyone for being there, and I will catch you all next Tuesday. Okay, bye for now.